Okay, so guys, before you watch this interview, I just wanna, because you're gonna be wondering why is it so short. It's because the first half of the conversation, OBS crashed on me. Now I don't want to blame anything else but this was kind of out of my control. So I lost all the footage, and Chris had limited time because he had to go work out. So unfortunately, we weren't able to redo this. So I will just continue with the conversation, and one day we will redo this interview, probably. So don't worry about it. But the reason why this interview is only so short, like 20 minutes or however long this is because of a technical issue that happened. I'll prevent this from happening on the next one. I'll find out how I can prevent this because I don't actually know what happened. But yeah, guys, thank you for your patience. It's the first time and the last time that is gonna happen. And yeah, enjoy the 20 minutes of the conversation. There was still a lot of value in this one. And yeah, this won't happen again. So with this in mind, guys, enjoy. So, Chris, it's nice to have you on here, man. Could you introduce yourself for someone who may not know who you are?
I turned on the microphone, but I'm not sure if you record the conversation. I never used it before, so
Holy
let's just
shit.
hope
So,
you can start recording now.
okay.
Just hope that it
yeah,
works.
I'll start recording anyways. So we're recording before this, though. This is like a funny moment, anyways.
Yeah.
Let's continue on with our conversation.
Okay.
So, how important is testosterone in this field of powerlifting?
Super important. It's like one of the most important factors. There's a reason why women's standard in strength and men's standard in strength is like so far apart.
Yeah.
So like a female bodybuilder could take as much steroids as she wants, right? But if she faces against like a natural guy who's like half her size but trains for so long, like chances are that guy beats her 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
or
that's
actually
true.
9 out of 10. But yeah.
Like there are some really strong women powerlifters, but when you just compare that to men, it's a lot of the times, man.
It's a different ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So, how do you go about increasing your testosterone? Right? How do you keep your testosterone at high levels?
I keep my testosterone high. I just try to eat as much meat as possible. Just eat as much as possible. What else did I do? I think that's all I do, though, to be honest. I just try to eat as much as I can.
Interesting. So
when I started gymming, I actually didn't want to gain strength. I just wanted to gain size. So I tried to bulk as much as possible, but like my weight didn't go up, but only my strength did.
Interesting. So what do you think is the main reason why people stay stuck at a certain weight? Why their weight doesn't go up and it's like stagnant and they're stuck at a weight for a couple of months? Why do you think that happens?
Okay, I think usually it's because they're not eating enough. Like they think they are, but they're probably not. So, like, unless you're like a really rare case where you just eat as much as you can and you really can't gain any weight. But most cases they just don't eat enough. Even though
a lot of the times people underestimate how much bulking or how much good eating is, like how much they're eating. Like even like the intervals of eating. Or do you do fasting? Do you fast at all?
No.
So, what do you think is the reason why people quit? After a while they give up. Why do you think that happens?
Okay, that actually happened to me once.
Really?
It's like sometimes it's not because you train so hard and you just realize I'm not good enough for this. But in some cases, actually a lot of cases, there's like other commitments. Like you have work, there's like relationships, there's this, there's just like so many other factors. And like sometimes your friends just telling you, hey, you want to hang out, but then you're always busy training that you really miss out like all those times you could have went out with your friends. And they just decided, this isn't really worth it anymore.
Interesting. So how did you come back to it after quitting for a while?
I actually was doing jiu-jitsu and then I had staph infection. I was a competitive jiu-jitsu athlete before this actually, because my goal was MMA. That was like my dream goal. Like, I wanted to be an MMA fighter, but I wasn't that good. I'm still a beginner, and I keep training. Then after a competition, I had staph infection, and because of that, I could not do any contact sports for like 6 months.
Interesting.
So I had to just stick with benching, and then that's when I met like one of my good friends. His name is Andre. Have you seen his daily before?
No, I haven't actually.
No, his body weight is like 76. He deadlifts 310.
What the fuck, man? This is
Yeah.
crazy. That shit is crazy. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So,
I have a guy in my country that weighs about 90 kilos and he deadlifts 410, and he holds the Czech record in Czech Republic. He holds the record for a body weight. Like 90 kilos and deadlifts 415 or 410. And that's like crazy. And he obviously is competitive. I'll send you to him on Instagram later after this podcast. But
sure.
I met that guy in real life once. He's you know, in his shirt he doesn't even look like that big, that strong. You wouldn't think so, but you know what?
But he's 90, right?
He's 90, yeah. He's natural.
No, 90, 90 kg.
90 kg, yeah. He's 90 kg. 90 kilograms.
And he doesn't look big when he's in the shirt.
Not really. Like, you know, I weigh 70, right? And it's like he's 20 kilos bigger than me, but he's taller, right? So he doesn't look that big, to be honest.
Okay.
Huh. Which is like interesting,
that's actually
right?
insane, though. That's actually insane. Like, imagine you're 90 kg, you can deadlift like 410, and you wear a shirt, you look like a regular dude. Like.
But yeah, man. But honestly, you know what? People think that these big bodybuilders on steroids that are fucking juiced up big, usually they don't lift that much compared to like other natural powerlifters, you know. And it's like obviously that's not their focus. They're focused on bodybuilding. It's like the stereotype is, oh, you look big, you look strong, so you must be strong. And then they look at a powerlifter that's not really caring about bodybuilding. He's about strength, and maybe he's not that big. For example, as the guy from my gym, you wouldn't think that he lifts more than a fucking 100-kilo bodybuilder, but he does, and 2 times as strong, right? It's like you can't really tell a lot of times. So, what was your first competition like?
Oh, it was a pain in the ass. Okay, so remember I told you I was doing jiu-jitsu back then, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was 2 months after I was done with my military service. So I wanted to do like grappling full time and then like do a bit of striking. But then there was this voice in my head, you know, like telling me like I could have competed as a sub junior and broke a national record, but I didn't get to do it. So I was like, you know what, let's just have this real powerlifting experience just once in my life. So I have you watched this documentary called Iron Grandpa?
I haven't actually.
Okay.
What's it about?
So this powerlifter, he was an IPF world champion, but then he got banned for substance abuse. His name is Esko Katola. He's a Finnish powerlifter. And he competed in this organization called the GPC, Global Powerlifting Committee. And I saw this documentary, and it was like the first powerlifting documentary I saw, and I was like inspired by his effort to cut weight, make like fly all the way to Brazil and compete. So I decided if I'm gonna compete once in my life, it's gonna be like that. So I flew all the way to Slovakia. I saved up. I worked a part-time job without telling my parents, and I just flew over. Yeah, and then I competed for the first time. That's where I met my good friend, Mark. He's a street curl athlete. He's quite strong, but then he got injured recently. But he's getting better now.
Interesting. So I wanted to ask you this question: how do you prevent injuries? What does injury prevention look like?
Injury prevention.
What's like when do people get injured the most? When do people get injured the most?
Okay, people get injured the most when they underestimate the weight, actually. Because me and my friend, we both got injured once, but it wasn't from heavy weight. So one time I did 80 kg, but then my position was a bit wrong. So it wasn't like touching my chest, it was touching the shoulder belly, and then the position was a bit messed up on my elbows, and I hurt my wrist and my shoulder doing that. It was only 80 kg. My friend, he was doing his warm-up set. He missed groove, but he continued to push through even though he was struggling, instead of like resetting and just trying it again. And then he had this bicep tendon tear. I'm not sure it's called, like bicep tendon like this or something. So it's like this part of his shoulder, like over here, like the tendon here just got a bit. Yeah, he got injured. So he had to went through an MRI for that.
Interesting. So, how do you prevent getting injured? You know?
Preventing getting injured. Warm up properly. Like a lot of people do like a good warm up. Like I would just use like bands, like other exercises, like maybe like a bit of light tricep extensions before I do bench.
So, what about stretching? How that, like some people say you should stretch before, you should stretch after, and some people like, because stretching does prevent injury, but some people say that before or after a workout or completely away from the workout. What's your opinion on that?
I'll stretch like really light before the workout, and I'll stretch a bit more after the workout because I don't want to like drain all my energy during the stretch.
Yeah.
But it's like a really light stretch, so you don't have to stretch like crazy to prevent injury. You just get your muscles ready for the bench.
So, what do you think about the term overtraining? A lot of people say you can overtrain. Do you think that's true? And how do you prevent? How do you prevent overtraining?
It actually happened to me once.
When does overtraining happen? When does overtraining happen?
When you train too much and you're not recovering enough to make progress. It's like after I benched twice body weight, right? I was thinking that 120 wasn't good enough. Like I was thinking the standard should be like 140 or above. Because I was comparing myself to those like other guys. And I just failed to see that
Correct.
the level I'm at is already quite high. So I just keep overtraining. I just keep trying to do as many heavy sets like every day. I was like 7 days a week. I was just thinking I'm not working hard enough. But sometimes you need to rest in order to progress. Like sometimes resting is part of the hard work. Like it takes discipline to know when you're overtrained and when you should like stop and take a break so you can work harder the next day.
So, what's like one overlooked thing in powerlifting? One thing that a lot of powerlifters don't do, which could really help them.
One thing powerlifters overlook. Yeah, I'm not sure, man. Not sure, but oh my gosh, wait. What's one thing they overlook? Yeah, I don't know. Oh wait. Actually, there is one thing though. There is one thing. Like some powerlifters, like you see they have like big triceps, but then the biceps are super small, right? So like sometimes if you work, they should do like more work on their antagonist muscles. Like I'm not really sure why, but when I started doing biceps, my bench went up as well for some reason.
Really?
Even though it makes no sense. It makes zero sense. I'm not sure how it works, but it's what happened to me.
Holy shit!
So, maybe there's a correlation for that.
Holy fuck! That's interesting. So, how do you get through the days when you really don't feel like it? Like when, let's say, you slept really bad and you really don't want to do it, but you should work out technically. Well, how do you get through those days?
I would just force myself to go, man. Like I would never skip a gym session unless it's like an important event, like a birthday party or like going out with friends or something important.
So, how do you recover right after a workout? Obviously, we know sleep, but is there like any other thing that can help you with recovery?
Eat as much as you can. That's like number one. Just eat as much as you can. I'll get a lot of snacks. I'll buy like a lot of pocky sticks. I'll buy ramen. Just be in my bed, just chilling, watching shows.
Interesting.
A lot of powerlifters are scared of gaining weight because of weight classes. But you can always cut the weight. Just try not to eat too much.
Like obviously, it depends kind of like on what you eat. Obviously, because you can binge eat on fucking meat, and you're not really gonna get fat out of meat. There's no carbs in that, But obviously, if you binge eat on milky chocolates, you're most probably gonna get fat, right? It's like the difference in what you eat.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a hater, somebody that said, no, like what you're doing is bullshit, you should give up, something like that? Did you ever have someone in your life to say that? Or maybe online?
So many, man. A lot.
Really?
In real life and on the internet.
So what did they say usually? Go ahead. So what did they say usually?
So it's like they always put like the comments saying like fake weights or like no loss or something like that.
The fake weights, bro. That's like the fake weights allegations is so fucking often. Everybody says it's fake weights. Then again, you can like see so many times that you lift it. Like, do they really think that you're gonna put fake weights in the gym so many times? That's bullshit.
Nah,
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of work actually to put in fake weights. Like imagine you need to like keep like bringing like two big 45-pound plates over whenever you go to the gym. So I don't think it will fit my bag. You know, like imagine like some guy just carrying two styrofoam plates to the gym every day and then he's just like adding it to each side.
So you mentioned you do martial arts too. How do you balance, like, the gym and fighting? How do you balance these two things? Because a lot of people like think that. Really?
Yeah, I remember when I focused on jiu-jitsu full time, right? I had to stop bench completely because there's this saying: if you chase two rabbits at the same time, you won't catch any of them.
Yeah, that's true.
And unfortunately, it's true. As much as I hate to admit it, my bench only went up because of that surgery. When I had to stop jiu-jitsu completely, that was the only reason why my bench progress went up.
Interesting. So let's get into some rapid fire questions before we wrap up. So, who's your favorite powerlifter? I don't know if I've asked you. What's the best advice you've been given?
Best advice I've been given. What's the best advice? Oh yeah. Okay. Drink Red Bull before you go gym. Like I remember my friend, the guy who deadlifted like 310, right? He would always buy Red Bull. I didn't drink Red Bull at that time. Like I didn't really. I was always more of like a chocolate milk kind of guy, And I'm just seeing him buy Red Bull every day. I'm just like, why do you buy Red Bull every day? It's like it gives me energy. So I'm like, okay, well, let's try it. And I'm like, okay, I feel really pumped out now. This is better than the pre-workout that I had.
So, what's the worst advice you've been given? When somebody gave you really bad advice that you shouldn't have listened to?
There was one guy that said that I shouldn't touch the chest. So I'm gonna put that at number one. Yeah, it's a weird advice. He would say you should bench at 90 degrees. If not, you will hyperextend or something. I was like, nah, that's bullshit.
What the fuck, bro? What the fuck?
Yeah, bro. That same guy, he does quarter squats, so I'm not gonna trust that guy.
Shit. So, do you have a favorite quote?
Mind over body.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's the proudest moment in your life?
Proudest moment. Proudest moment of my life. I think it's when I bench 140 kg. That was maybe the proudest moment ever of my life.
Describe yourself in. No, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Okay, when I bench 140, right? Like my journey to 140 versus my journey to 100 was so different. Because my journey to 100 was like everyone saying, like my peers are telling me like I can't do it. Like my old teachers would say, we've been training for years. We can't hit 100. You can't hit 100 just by 1 year of training. So like that one was I believe in myself and everyone doubted me. But the 140 was so different. It was the other way around. All my friends were saying, Chris, it's only 5 kg away, you got this. But in my head, I was just thinking, like is this really like my limit? Like maybe 135 is my limit. I don't think I can go beyond that. Because every time I try 140, it just keeps failing. Like I never was close. I was never close. And I had this talk with my friends at 6 a.m. So I'm not gonna name their names because it's like a really private talk. But we had a talk at 6 a.m. in the morning. And like I'm not sure. I just felt emotional at that time. And I was still sore. So, but despite that, the first thing I did was I just straight away went to the gym at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I reached at 5. Then I reached at 6. And I benched 140 for the first time, and I was just like screaming. I was just like, "What the fuck just happened?"
Yeah, like the feeling when you hit a new PR, especially if it's a weight that you've been waiting for and trying hard for a long time, and you finally hit it. The feeling is incredible at that point.
Yeah.
I do have experience with that one. That's crazy. So,
that's quite nice.
Describe yourself in 2 words.
Desperate and determined.
These are very good words, to be honest. So, last question. If you could have a conversation with yourself when you were 17, what would you tell yourself?
Oh, 17. Don't do too many reps. It's like just do 12, 3 sets of 12. Don't go anything beyond that. That's too much.
Okay. So, Chris, what's next for you, man?
What's next? I want to continue competing and hopefully bench 150, 2.5 competition this year.
Fucking hell.
Like I've been trying to find the coach actually, and I just messaged him. I'm just waiting for his reply. So if I get coach, there's very good chance that I can hit my dream goal this year in competition.
Yeah, man. Fucking hell. 150 at 60 kilos. That's absolutely crazy. Holy shit. That would be crazy. Fucking hell. So, where can people find you, man?
You can find me at the gym or at my house. That's only two places I go.
No, but like on social media in general.
Oh, my Instagram account is KrisPress with a K _ 59 kg.
Okay. So, Chris, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for this. Guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one.